Hello everyone, this video is for someone who is trying to learn DevOps or in between the journey of learning DevOps, or they have learned the DevOps, they are implementing the things, but they are getting confused like why this particular thing is in place. So we will discuss all these things. Hi everyone, my name is Deepika and welcome back to my channel. If you are thinking, okay, I already know the DevOps, I have seen that infinity wala diagram multiple times, and I know like once the developer is committing the changes, we are checking it out, doing the testing, deployment and maintenance. Yes, that is DevOps. Okay, we can see that, we can say like that is DevOps, but that is, that DevOps is recite on the foundation of SDLC. So it is very important to understand the SDLC. Now, you also might know like what is SDLC. So if you are like from the technical background, you may know, but okay, let me discuss it. So the agenda of this video would be to clear it out the basics so that we can move ahead for the hands-ons in the next videos. So SDLC, as we know, it's a process, right? But how we will understand it? Let me clear it out. First, this SDLC belongs to software development lifecycle. It means how the software is getting built, correct? But to understand it, let me take an example. Forget about SDLC, forget about DevOps, okay? First, suppose here is the home, and there is one civil engineer who is building this particular home. Okay, so now what exactly will do, like what exactly he will do? He will directly start breaking out the things and arranging everything and give it shape, or first he will plan, he will ask the client like, okay, how much is the area, what kind of what kind of building you want, what are the requirement you have, whether it is a first floor, second floor, or like what material do you want me to use. And also, so there are multiple things, then he will bring the all the materials which is required, right? We know like there are multiple kind of materials we need to build a home, correct? So he will build all, bring all the things. Then what he will do, he will get some persons, different kind of persons, who will, what he will do, like someone will help us to shift the material, someone will do the building thing, someone will map the thing. So these are the things, right? So how this home is getting built. Similarly, there are few steps how a software is getting built. Okay, so let me tell you, like, since as we saw, first we need to have one map of the map, like what are the requirements, and that map, based on that map we will do the measurements, and the engineer will do measurement, then he will ask the the correct person to implement those things, and he will bring the materials, he will do like, okay, what is the cost of the material, what would be the like total cost of the home. So there are many things, you are already aware about that. Similarly, you can imagine like someone has an idea, like, okay, I want a website which will do this particular thing. For example, we are using on a daily basis amazon.com. So might be someone is having idea like, okay, I want a website where user can shop their household things or clothing or anything, any product. So how that idea got converted and how we as a user are able to use that website, right? This belongs to the SDLC, that is the software development life cycle. How this idea came from point A to point Z or B, anything, right? This is the thing. So likewise, how this civil engineer is planning and executing the things to build a home, similarly our software engineers are planning and implementing the things to build a idea to the a running software. The process of planning, designing, building, implementing, and deploying a software is called the software development lifecycle. Now, we will go like in depth about this. I hope this is very easy to understand. So now, since here we have different stages, here also we have different stages. First, what we will do, we will collect the requirement. Okay, what exactly the client want. Then what we will do, we will plan, okay, how we will execute those things. Then we will design. What design? We will do designing, like we have, after requirement we build the map. Similarly, we will do designing. Then what we will do, we will make it develop. So we'll give it a developer team and they will develop it, right? Once it is developed, the code is ready, and then after the code, what we will do, we will deploy it. Correct? It means we will make it live. Then we will here we will first test it, then we will deploy it, and then we will maintain it. Correct? So mainly the DevOps comes from here. Okay, once the code is ready, our job is to test it, deploy it, and maintain it. These stages are automated using DevOps. Okay, so DevOps is definitely not about only tools. It's the concept. It's a it's a principles we are following, right? So let me go ahead. I hope this is clear. So as I told you, I will also show you some reference diagrams so that you can correlate, and based on that, definitely we will move ahead for the hands-on. And I'm planning to do lots of hands-on on this channel, but that hands-on needs a basic understanding. That's why I'm uploading these videos, and you can subscribe it to get the hands-on projects. Okay, so okay, now this is SDLC and DevOps. Okay, now what we will do is, let me show you. So as we have discussed, like these are the phases we are doing: requirement, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. This is complex to understand theoretically. So what I'll do is, I will show you the reference things. Okay, how these things is getting implemented in actual real world. First is requirement. Okay, so requirement gathering, there are few tools and the collaborations are happening within the teams. With that helps tools, we are mentioning the pointers, and we are making one definitely SRS. This is a document, and based on that everything goes up. Now design. So design will be like, okay, what kind of architecture we want. Is it will be the cloud native, mobile application, microservice application, or what kind of application would be. So all kind of design things it will happen. Then it will go to the development team, and then so on. Okay, so let's move forward. This is a kind of software development, software requirement specification. We already heard many times, like, okay, SRS, but what exactly it is? As a DevOps engineer, we don't need to worry about it, because it is a top level delivery manager, and this kind of VP directors, this kind of persons, they are this kind of positions they hold, and they are discussing with the clients and getting the details and doing the things. But once everything is sorted, then we have to work with the development team. But before that, isn't it good to have an idea about that, like what is happening on the top of that, so that we can deliver as per their requirements? Correct? So let's not understand. Once we will they have a meeting with the client, they will prepare one document, that is a software requirement specification. In that they will define, okay, what are the introduction of that project, and descriptions, and all these things. Okay, next it will be in the requirement there will be functional and non-functional requirement. You can have an idea about this later. So it's a functional and non-functional requirement we have. Then here comes to design. So first thing is clear. Okay, in the requirement they are nothing but making the documentation of their conversation. It means what exactly the client needs and what will be the challenges, what we need to do. Okay, the next one is design. In design part, like you have heard about the architect, right? So what they are doing is, with the based on that requirement, they are giving some layouts. Okay, like this thing can be implemented in this way. For example, here we see, suppose he has a requirement, okay, and now he will define like, okay, the component A and B will interact, and the A will be, you know, interacting with the DB, right? So this is a high level diagram. Now what they will do is, they'll go deep and they will design the low level diagram. Here what they'll do, they will go deep, and they will again do this, like, okay, what will be there in the A, like A component, what are the things and how they will interact. So you have heard about the UML diagram and use case diagrams. All these things will come in this section. I'll show you the basic design. Like, you have seen this kind of diagram. Like, for example, the user will be having the registration and login form and search and books and this thing, right? And the system will also have what are the, you know, notifications and admin things, kind of things. So this is kind of, you know, in the part of the design. Now, development. When we talk about the development of anything, there are few things. First is what is being seen. Like, we are seeing the website, right? So we are seeing the front end. So one is front end development, and it happens with these are the, you know, frameworks. So we use that. Then the backend development, we use different backend, like Spring Boot, Node.js, Django, Spring. So this is a backend development. And one who do front end and backend both, that will be full stack development. Okay, so this is are the stacks. It's nothing but the combination of this and this, and they are designing the full stack development. Okay, they are developing the full stack. Once so you can observe in your organization, or if you are entering in the organization for the first time, you can observe like there will be different positions, and the requirement comes from the top. They are having some client meetings, they are dealing with the client, they are getting the information, and after that they are preparing one document. After that document, they are planning out things. Then it goes to architect level. They are, you know, analyzing all the requirement based on the resources, based on the infrastructure and what client wants. So based on that, everything is getting discussed. Then they are designing the part, high level and low level. And once everything is sorted, then it is coming to the development team. Now what development team is doing, whatever they have designed, right? Based on that components, they are forming the codes and doing the things. Okay, now once the development task is done, we have a code. The developer team have a code. Now that code needs to be executed, because when a developer is executing that code, he is executing on his local laptop. But we don't want to run in one particular system, right? We want like end user should use it, correct? So for that, our DevOps job role start. So once we have that code, we are carrying it out for the testing, deployment and monitoring, so that we will be having one feedback loop, and we can, you know, advance the software. So next, once the development is done, right, we are having the testers. The testers are like manual testers, automated, or this kind of testings are there. You can have a look. And we have the functional and non-functional testing. As we discussed, the requirement are functional and non-functional. Similarly, in the testing also, we will break it down as a functional testing and non-functional testing. So functional testing, it means it will depends on the source code, right? Like unit testing, first whatever they are developing, that code, particular part of the code is correct or not. So we have different kind of testing here. Then we have integration testing. Suppose this code is tested, now we have come with the new source of code and we are merging it, so this both should work together and as expected, and give the as expected result. So this is the integration testing. Now system testing. System means whatever we have given all the unit testing and then we have integrated the parts, and now that integrated parts have become one particular system. Now we will test what is is everything is working fine within the system or not. Then user acceptance testing. Sometimes you have seen, right, some mobile applications will be saying beta user, or many softwares first they will do the beta testing, alpha test, right? So that is like user acceptance, like for they'll release it for the user and user will give the feedbacks, and based on that they will come up with the updated versions, right? So before actual launching they are doing some acceptance tests, like how is the response of the user, what are the challenges user is facing. So these kind of things will be in the user acceptance testing. Then we have performance, security, usability and compatibility testing. As the name suggests, like we are here, we are checking what is the performance, security testing. Okay, so this kind of things we are doing here. Next, here it comes, once test, right, we need to deploy it, correct? Once we are deploying it, how we should deploy? There is a thing, right? Suppose we have a code, we have done the testing, now it is up to us how we should deploy. So developer may or may not have idea how we are deploying the code. Our end goal is to make sure that code is accessible, that website is accessible and always up and running, and it should be work as expected. So these are our tasks as a DevOps engineer. So there are few things we need to make sure, like based on our infrastructure, whether it is a AWS or on-premise infrastructure, we need to make sure, okay, how we are going to deploy it, how many servers we will be needing, how many requests we are getting, how much is the data size, what DB will be used, how they will interact with each other, what will be the security rules, what will be the firewall rules, and also like how we will implement the monitoring of the website or server. So all these things comes under development part. Okay, and then finally we have a maintenance. Okay, so this is very important, this is actually the task of the DevOps part. Okay, let me just a minute, I'll just get back. Yeah, so we were discussing, this is actually the deployment part. Okay, so we need to make sure, like definitely there will be a team, there will be a complete operation team who will make sure, like they will plan and they will decide, like okay, how many servers we will be needing and what kind of DB will be needing. So everything is decided, and then you need to build that CI/CD pipeline and everything. So that comes here, not directly like okay, we are getting the code and deploying it. No. So that was the agenda to make you understand, like where the DevOps lies and what is your responsibility, but what goes behind that, how you are getting till here, that was the agenda to make you understand, because this thing will definitely will be very helpful when you are collaborating with the different teams. So if you want, I can also tell you like what kind of the different teams are involved and how they are approaching you for their task and how you can approach it. So let me know in the comment section, or else we'll just move forward. Next is testing, okay, or maintenance. So in the maintenance, what we are doing, suppose we have already deployed the website. As you have seen many times, the software doesn't work, or user face some issues, or the website is not working, it will throw some error, or it will be just down, or server is out of the disk. So there are many issues. It's not like once you have deployed everything will work smoothly. No, there may be n number of issues. That may be network issues, that might be software related issues, that might be your resource related issues. So you need to maintain that. So any bugs are there, or you are facing like anything you have got into the monitoring, okay, this component is not working fine, or this rule is not working, or this kind of things, right? The website is down. Then you also suppose you want a new feature, the user want the new feature, then okay, that will be developed and deployed. So enhancement, and after that the support, the overall support of the deployment, right? So this comes under the maintenance. So I hope, like, you know, all the stages are clear to you, and you can see like how SDLC is helping us to understand the DevOps, because in my previous video I have already explained why DevOps is not only about tools, it's more about the mindset, it's more about the collaboration. And if we will not understand the collaboration part, it is very difficult to work as a DevOps team. You might know how to write CI/CD pipeline and how to implement the tool, but it it may be very difficult to collaborate. So definitely you should understand the complete process of SDLC, so that you can use the terminologies with the correct team in the correct way to get the information. Okay, the next one is now how these things are being implemented. So there are multiple tools, multiple ways, but the concept will be same, right? So for the collaboration, for example, we will be using the Jira or ServiceNow or any project management tool, and we will be having tickets. Okay, so these are the kind of dashboard you can see, and here you can see your name and it is assigned to you, and you need to still do it, or you have something already done, or something you are working on, and what is the feedback, and what is the task ID. So these are the things will be there in the ticket, and based on that you need to work on. I hope this video will be helpful for you to understand overall, not only about the DevOps perspective as a tool, but the overall procedure, how things are coming down to you. I will try to go deep in this for the coming videos, and if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, because here we will not only do the theory part, since it's very starting. That's why I'm explaining the theory, but definitely I'll be coming up with the lots of hands-on projects. So keep support. Thank you. Bye bye.